are tough. But then again, you look at what they've got coming up in the Premier League. I just spoke to Jamie about it. City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Leicester and Wolves. They're all coming up in the next 8 games for the TalkSport 2 special 10 games to define Jose's season. I'm Adi Oladipo, and up next we'll be looking at the sign-in Spurs made this summer and how they're doing. That's up next.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker.
The Social with Adi Oladipo on TalkSport 2.
OK, it's a penalty. My son's big moment. Got my iPhone 12 with super fast 5G ready to capture it in stunning Dolby Vision, edit the footage live and send it to his mum instantly. Trade in now and get up to £400 for your current iPhone when you buy the new Apple iPhone 12. Pull a switcheroo today. Find us online at carphonewarehouse.com or inside your local Currys PC World store. T's and C's apply. See website for trading, qualifying criteria and valuation. 5G where available.
Things were going well for your small business. At Indeed, we want to see that happen again. We understand good hiring is crucial and you need people who will make an impact. Indeed helps you find more quality candidates fast while only paying for what you need, without any long-term commitments, thanks to our flexible payment options. Start finding your impactful hire today with a £100 credit for your first job post and get seen by more quality candidates. Get your business going again. Go to Indeed.com/100. Terms and conditions apply.
The Mercedes-Benz A-Class is now available as a plug-in hybrid. It's every bit as exciting as the A-Class you know. Same sporty design, cutting-edge technology and widescreen digital display. But with one big difference. It now has an electric motor for shorter trips and the efficiency of intelligent hybrid driving modes to go even further. That means cheaper running costs than petrol or diesel alone and a lower road tax. Search Mercedes-Benz A-Class plug-in hybrid to find out more.
In need of something a little extra? Switch it up with the Quarter Pounder Deluxe from McDonald's. Onions, lettuce and a slice of fresh tomato in a cool mayo sauce. Part of the Quarter Pounder range. Available until the 17th of November. Served from 11 a.m. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
It could be a first-timer, or a long-timer, or a once-in-a-whiler. It could be a little or a lot. It could be the ticket under your fridge magnet. It could be someone with your first name and last and middle. It could be you. This Saturday's £20 million lotto jackpot must be won. Or thousands of you will win. Share of the jackpot. Play online or on the app. Lotto from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be...
Good afternoon, I'm Adi Oladipo and this is the 10 games to define Jose's season, a TalkSport 2 special as we build up to Spurs' trip to Ludogorets in the Europa League. Kickoff for that game is at 5:55. That game actually follows us here as well, the build up right here on TalkSport 2. All right, let's get a quick cricket update. John Norman is watching the big one for us. Mumbai Indians versus the Delhi Capitals. Are Delhi mounting a fight back here, John?
Of sorts. They're still in a bit of a hole. 33 for 4 now. When you were last with me, they were 6 for 3. So they've lost another wicket with Shreyas Iyer, the second wicket to fall, going against Jasprit Bumrah, caught by Sharma for 12. Could have been even worse. Marcus Stoinis had a life. He's been dropped. He's moved to 17. And Capitals need 168 runs and 82 balls. Only 6 wickets remaining. They're in the 7th over. If they do it from here, wow. They're 33 for 4.
Yeah, they do it for here. Well, indeed. As always, thanks to John Norman there watching the big game for us. Mumbai Indians versus the Delhi Capitals.
He is back, and he's now back, and he's scored a goal. Gareth Bale has the goal, Spurs have the goal, and the prodigal son who returned in the summer is now back up and running.
He knows what we want from them. He knows the way we play. We know the way he plays, and it was a moment to start from the right, but to end in finishing areas, because we needed a goal, and after the goal we need experience. We need people to hold the ball. We need people.
individually. Let's talk about Højbjerg, who I think got a lot of stick in the first couple of games, particularly that game against Everton. I remember social media, which is never a nice place, was extremely cruel to Højbjerg. How well has he done so far to almost repay that 15 million transfer from Southampton?
Yeah, he's doing well, isn't he? It's sort of surprising how much of an impact he seems to have had on the team and how much sort of favour he's won from Mourinho already. I mean, you saw him at Southampton and, you know, he did well statistically there, but was never the one that you'd point to and be like, you know, he's won that game for them. And it's sort of telling to see how little they've missed him really since he left. But he's made a massive difference in Spurs' midfield. He gives them that base. He gives them a bit of fight, and he's not too bad with the ball at his feet either, really, is he? He's always looking to try and do something with it, and as well as balancing it with that sort of that metal and steel in midfield. He's looked quite a shrewd addition so far, and of course he's the sort of player that is not going to say no and put up a fight to Mourinho either, which is something that he'll always like.
Yeah, Mourinho always seems to want men in his team. It's something he's focused on as well, and Højbjerg definitely ticks that box. Right back and left back have been, I'll say, issues for Tottenham over the last couple of seasons. When you think of Trippier leaving, I think it's fair to say maybe Serge Aurier hasn't gone on the way we wanted him to go on. Mac Doherty has come in from Wolves, and he's done really well as well, right?
Yeah, it's been really nice to see him sort of get the recognition that he deserves for his performances at Wolves and get picked up by one of the big six. I mean, Wolves have done fantastically well since they came back up from the Championship, but Doherty really, deserved a move like that, and the faith that he just adds another dimension to Spurs on that side, and in the way Mourinho played before Reguilon arrived, with Ben Davies tucking in, sort of balance that out and let him go off and do what he can do going forward. And we've already seen him, even in the first few games, get into the box as well and pose a real threat going forwards. But you can be confident. So he gives them another option. But it's, for years it's been a difficult task to fill, being Harry Kane's deputy, because you're not going to get that run of games you need to become accustomed to Tottenham style of football, for a new signing into the country to become accustomed to English football. You're not going to get a consistent run of games to get up to speed unless he picks up an injury, which, all Tottenham fans hope he doesn't. So it's always a difficult role to fill, and I'm sure he's someone that will come good and will look a decent signing for Spurs in years to come. And then at the back, dropped down a bit, but there was interest from a few Premier League clubs. West Ham really tried to push him early on, and you feel that he would have been a regular starter for them had he gone. So someone of that quality, still young to see how he goes, and he's got the experience of playing with Wales, so he'll be one to watch as well. So I think they're fairly well covered on all bases at the moment.
Finally, Jack, and as always, thanks for your time. How do you think they do this season, Spurs, with that current squad? Obviously, flying and doing quite well in the Premier League. You think they'll compete for the title this season?
It's a really difficult question. I think if they do compete for the title, it might not all be down to them. It might be down to the sort of stutterings and stammerings from Liverpool and Manchester City, and we'll see what Chelsea can do. It's shaping up to be a season where the title will be built on the best defence. None look too sturdy so far, but Jose's famed for it, isn't he, for building his teams that way and making them difficult to beat. If they can balance that with the attacking threat of Son, Kane and Bale, then they've got a good shot of being involved when it really gets towards the important end of the season.
There you go, Evening Standards, Jack Rosser. Jack, thank you so much there for coming on TalkSport 2. Good signings for Spurs, I think, so far this season. I think Jose Mourinho will go into the transfer market again in January. But, I mean, of the signings they've done so far season, you look at Pierre Højbjerg, fantastic. Doherty, fantastic. And, again, bringing back the prodigal son, Gareth Bale. How that one work out, I guess we'll soon find out. All right, this is TalkSport 2 special, 10 games to define Jose's season. I'm Adi Oladipo. Up next, we'll be looking at how Spurs won their last trophy, and that was back in 2008. That's up next.
Focus Hour on TalkSport 2 with 888 Sport. Take them on at 888sport.com. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Jamie Moore here. The Injured Jockeys Fund have helped me recover from recent injury, as they do so many jockeys every year. Please show your support and donate today. The Injured Jockeys Fund supports those whose careers have been harmed by injury. By donating to the fund, you can directly help care for those recently injured and the many ex-jockeys and families who need ongoing support. Donate today and purchase Christmas gifts online at injuredjockeys.co.uk. Thank you, IJS.
So I called me mate Tom and I said,
I'm waiting for me Chinese to be delivered. What are you up to?
And he said,
I'm waiting for me car to be delivered from Cinch.
I said,
oh, Cinch.
And he said,
yeah, Cinch. Like you said, Cinch lets you buy a quality check used car online with a 14-day money-back guarantee.
And I said,
delivery included right to your door, yeah. Oh, speak of the devil, that's my lemon pepper chicken.
And he said,
nah, that's my tasty motor.
You're in the driving seat now, Britain. Cinch. Cars without the faff. UK mainland delivery only, T's and C's apply.
Businesses. Time is running out. From the 1st of January next year, if you do business with Europe, you're going to have to follow new rules. So there are definite actions we all need to take now. More to do, I know, but it's work that won't be wasted. It needs doing no matter what. And we haven't got long. Less than 3 months and counting. Check what your business needs to do now at gov.uk/transition. Check, change, go.
Jen's new smart speaker should be teaching her to cook a chicken. But it's not, because her Wi-Fi doesn't reach the kitchen, so she's winging it. Poussin le ceiling is served. Oh, why, Jen? Why buy the best home tech if your Wi-Fi won't support it? Well, with BT Complete Wi-Fi, that bird can still be basted. Only BT guarantees reliable Wi-Fi in every room or £100 back. Why choose anyone else? BT, beyond limits.
Up to 3 discs to guarantee 10 Mbps in every room or £100 off your next bill. Terms apply.
Running your own business doesn't have to be complicated, especially when it comes to getting paid. With the SumUp Air card reader, it's simple. Card payments with no monthly costs and no binding contract. The SumUp Air is simple, affordable and allows contactless payments. Just pair it with your smartphone and get paid anytime and anywhere. With 73 branches across the UK, get your SumUp Air card reader from your local Denmans electrical wholesalers or at denmans.co.uk.
TalkSport Traffic and Travel with Swinton Business Insurance. We'll help you find the right cover for your business. From plumbers and electricians to landlord or taxi insurance. Visit swinton.co.uk.
Kent, the M25 anti-clockwise remains closed at junction 4 for Orpington after a serious collision earlier. That's causing long queues back past the M26 at junction 5. In Bedfordshire, the M1 northbound is slow after an earlier collision at junction 11 for Dunstable South. In West Yorkshire, the A650 Wakefield Road at West Bowling is blocked southbound after a bridge was hit by a vehicle at Bowlingback Lane. I'm Adam Moore.
As we all adjust to the latest government guidance, at Tesco we wanted to reassure you that we're doing everything we can to help you shop safely. We're installing a simple traffic light system at the entrance to our larger stores to help manage the flow of customers. And we're continuing our dedicated hours for vulnerable customers and giving NHS workers priority access. All our colleagues are provided with face coverings to protect themselves and you. We ask that you wear yours as well. Tesco. Every little helps. See tesco.com for more details.
And here they come. What a magnificent sight. Yes, it's live British horse racing on the radio, and TalkSport 2 have got it covered. Tomorrow afternoon from 2, TalkSport 2 will bring you full coverage and live race commentary of all the action. Direct from Fontwell. Saddle up for live British horse racing on the radio. Download the TalkSport app and swipe left. Or ask your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2 to follow all the action. Tomorrow afternoon from 2 on TalkSport 2.
Focus Hour on TalkSport 2 with 888 Sport. Take them on at 888sport.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Good afternoon, I'm Adi Oladipo, and this is 10 games to define Jose's season, a TalkSport 2 special as we build up to Spurs' trip to Ludogorets in the Europa League, which follows us here on TalkSport 2.
Berbatov trying to peel away from his marker at the far post. Woodgate going in as well! Tottenham take the lead in the first seconds of extra time, and it's Jonathan Woodgate.
This is TalkSport 2, I'm Ali Oladipo, and we're talking all things Tottenham Hotspurs. You can have your say, remember, get in touch at TalkSport 2 on Twitter. And now I'm delighted to say we're joined by former Spurs striker Darren Bent, who was in the last squad that anytime Spurs won something, that was back in 2008, the League Cup. Darren, we were just speaking off air about that team and that squad. Is that the best Spurs squad, you think, in the last sort of 20, 30 years?
It's difficult because when you look at the Spurs squad of now, and even a couple of years back when you start talking about when they had Dembele, Parker, Modric, these type of guys.
Gareth Bale.
And Bale was obviously at his pomp then, do you know what I mean? Adebayor, I think, was there. It's difficult, but when you look at the team that, when we won it, and you look at the team that we beat in Chelsea, I mean, there were a lot of players in that squad in 2008, which we won, that don't get the credit they deserve, because they were top players, and they played really well in that Spurs system. And listen, you've got to say hats off to them, because they beat a very good Chelsea side and went unfortunate to lose on penalties the next year to United.
That's a good squad. Just to quickly go, Paul Robinson in goal. He had Alan Hutton, Jonathan Woodgate, Ledley King, Chimbonda, Aaron Lennon, Jermaine Genius, Zakora, Steed Malbronk, I think people sleep on. Yeah. Robbie Keane and Dimitar Berbatov. That was just starting 11.
Honestly, and when you look, you look for right through that team, as you said there, Paul Robinson, good goalkeeper, England international, Woodgate and Berbatov, Woodgate and Ledley King. Super.
I mean, come on.
Wow, both very, very good.
Two of the most injured defenders, but arguably, if they still were fit, they would have rivaled Rio Ferdinand and John Terry.
One of them played for Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? In Woodgate. Then you look, Zakora and Jenas. Zakora did so much running, covered a lot of ground, was superb. Got to be one of the most capped players for the Ivory Coast. And then Berbatov and Keane. I mean, I when I first went to Spurs, trying to crack into that front two when there was already Defoe, Berbatov and Keane there.
I was going to ask you about this actually, because look, obviously you got a winner's medal. You didn't start, you didn't come on in the final. How does it feel? Be honest.
Do you know what? I've been honest. It's difficult because I look at it like I didn't win it.
Really?
Yeah, because I was on the bench, but I didn't get on the pitch.
But you played in the games leading up to it.
Yeah, but I don't think I even played that much leading up to the final, but I was put on the bench. Do you know what? I got more satisfaction for myself personally playing in the final, because I played the whole game in the final the next year against United, and I was number 5 to take a penalty, but he didn't get that far because I think O'Hara missed one and someone else, I can't remember. 2 people missed.
Shouting out O'Hara.
2 people missed, but also I was number 5, so I didn't get to take one. But I got more satisfaction for myself personally playing the whole of that game, playing in the final, than obviously. I saw how much it meant to my teammates on that 2008 when they beat Chelsea. I mean, there was tears, people emotion, obviously winning a trophy of some sort.
Yeah.
But for myself personally, it's difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I was on the bench,
you just want to come on.
Not even for 30 seconds, I would have felt so much better because I didn't. It was kind of hard to join in with the festivities of winning the trophy.
So all those pictures I've seen of you smiling and laughing, all fake.
All behind my teeth.
None of it real. One day Ramos manager there. Again, a manager I don't think gets credit, right? I mean, look at the team he set up, got to the final. Was there focus on winning the trophy? Was that the focus more than the league under One Day Ramos?
No, we kind of just fell into it, if I'm honest, because when I first moved to Spurs and they signed me in the summer, the talk was always about they'd finished 5th twice in their league, so there was always like, we've got to break into the top 4. So maybe a trophy wasn't even on the agenda. It was all about getting into the top 4, because by then, at that time, United, Liverpool, Arsenal and Chelsea, them 4 there were the 4 that was up there all the time. They were the big 4, as it was called. So our expectation was trying to get into that top 4. So when we kind of stumbled against to the League Cup, because we beat Arsenal twice and it beat Arsenal over 2 legs in the semis. Once you get to the final, you think, well, we're there now.
Yeah.
So we've got, might as well give it a go. Not even so much give it a go, but we've found ourselves in this situation. Let's not obviously put it to waste. Let's go and win the trophy. So we kind of fell into it rather than looking at the start of the season. Like Martin Yo, when I had the conversation with him, he didn't say to me, Darren, I'm bringing you in because we want to win the League Cup. It was all about top 4.
And that's almost become more than a trophy now, isn't it? I mean, Arsenal has suffered from that over the Wenger years. It was almost like, okay, we're making top 4, but we're not winning trophies. Obviously, they won a couple of FA Cups, but top 4 became like a trophy. And it really is now as well, isn't it?
It's the money. But I mean, for Arsenal, and you're right, people kind of labelled criticism at Wenger, and you think about it, he was finishing top 4 all the time, and as you said, they're picking up all the time, and he was picking up FA Cups here and there. Now, if you was to swap them and Spurs, for instance, Spurs would snap your hand off. They're finishing the top 4 and winning FA Cups. But obviously, the one thing that's always labelled at Spurs is that you finish in the top 4, but what have you got to show for it? Absolutely nothing. So yes, top 4 is important because of the money you get playing in the biggest competition in the world, but at the same time, it's always important for me, especially for fans, to win trophies, and for players. Do you know what I mean? Harry Kane doesn't want to go his whole career if he stays at Spurs without winning anything.
I saw you have a dig at Pochettino the other day and say he's not world class because he hasn't won a trophy.
Yeah,
and that's the truth, isn't it?
Do you know what?
You've got to win a trophy.
So many people have asked me about me digging him out, but I've not really dug him out because I've said that for me personally, he's a very good manager.
Very good.
He's very, very good manager, but I can't put him in that World Cup class bracket. When I think of world class managers that are in the Premier League right now, you go the obvious 2: Pep, Guardiola. Ancelotti, he's a world-class manager. Look what he's done. Mourinho, how can you say he's not a world-class manager when he's won 2 Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues? He's won everything. So I think...
Could an argument be, though, that they're managing better teams? Is that fair?
See, that could be fair, but then my argument to that would be, what about Leicester?
Yeah.
How did Ranieri do that? Do you know what I mean? So, but listen, he's a very, very good manager, and I feel that if he goes to United, with his coaching methods, he could turn them into a juggernaut. But to automatically elevate him into that bracket without him actually doing it yet, I can't do it.
How desperate do Spurs? How desperate is it for Spurs to win a trophy? League, FA Cup, Europa League, whatever it is, something.
Yes, it's important just for them to get that winning mentality. I think they need that because they've had the squad. You think about Harry Kane, how good he's been. Dele Alli when he was at his pomp. Christian Eriksen, they had the team when they had Dembele and
Odevoro at the back as well.
Wanyama, big powerful guys, and they should have won a trophy then. But I think it's important for them now to just establish, especially with Mourinho in charge, that winning culture. And I think once they get one with the squad that they've got and they add to it as well, you'd expect them to pick up.
You think they can get one? When you look around and you think of what's out there, Liverpool, City, Arsenal look good, Chelsea, Lampard spent well, they look good. Do you think they can win a trophy?
Yeah, because I think Mourinho is so clever and shrewd at what he does. He'll look at all the competitions that they're still in and he'll go, right, let's have a look at where can we win. I don't think they'll win the Premier League. I don't think they'll win that.
Favourites to win Europa League?
I think they could win that because Mourinho knows how to do it. And even the League Cup, I think they could do that as well. Obviously, they beat Chelsea. And the FA Cup has not started yet. So I genuinely think he will target one of them. Do you know what I mean? And go just to give them the best opportunity of winning something rather than try and spread it out. Rest players here, rest players there. He will go all out to win one of them.
How far away do you think they are from winning the league? You look at the league, let's be honest. I mean, I think Liverpool are favourites. they've been shaky. Man City have been shaky. United are way off.
Yeah.
How far do you think Tottenham are? Third, fourth favourites?
Nah, still way off. I still you can listen, even if they were third, fourth off winning the Premier League, that's still so far behind Manchester City and Liverpool. Them two teams there are light years ahead of everyone else.
Why?
Because they're just so good.
I mean, you look at what they've got up front, right? Kane, Son, Bell, the midfield. Højbjerg looks good now, and Dembele. Is it at the back? Is it just because of the winning mentality? What is it?
Defensively, they leak too many goals.
Yeah.
There's that, and you're right. Bale, he still hasn't. We haven't seen him explode into life yet, but Son and Kane, we understand that. But look at what Liverpool have got. I mean, they take Firmino out. Well, you like Liverpool. Diego Jota, right now, for me, is a signing of the season.
Yeah.
He's come in right away, bang, goal, hat-trick. Straight away. And everyone else kind of looked at him and went 40 million. I was like, wow, I can't believe that Wolves even let this guy go. But the fact that Liverpool got him, I mean, they've got to be favourites now. And even though you've lost Fabinho and Van Dijk, you still look so powerful going forward. I don't know how you're going to stop them.
Let's talk about mentality. Final question. Let's talk about mentality. You spoke about Spurs having to win something to almost change that mentality. They won something under you. You were there. 2007-8. Why have they not then kicked on and gone again? If we're talking about mentality, normally it's almost like the floodgates have opened. Surely that would have been it back then, no?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I think we got off to a horrendous start the next season. I think one day ended up leaving. Harry came in, got to another final, and then it was the season after that they got into the top four. And I thought once they did that, they would kick on and win more trophies. But the fact that we're sitting here now, and maybe what they did, which was take their eye off winning trophies and prioritise getting in that top four. And I think that's what it was. They were top four. It's all about, and people have become infatuated with finishing in the top four, which I can understand. But listen, it's all well and good if you are doing that, but you need to pick up trophies along the way.
Final question, Darren. I said final question before, didn't I?
Yeah.
This one, guaranteed final question. If they don't win something, and you spoke about Harry Kane hasn't won anything at Tottenham, if they don't win anything this season, is there a chance Harry Kane goes?
Are they in the Champions League or not?
No.
If they're not in the Champions League and they don't win anything, I think he needs to seriously, someone of his ability and quality needs to be playing in the Champions League and competing for the very best trophies around the world.
Interesting. Darren Bent, ladies and gentlemen, who has just said it, like when they won the League Cup in 07-08, didn't feel a part of it.
No. Honestly, people said, really? And honestly, anyone who's close to me and I spoke to will give you the same answer. I'm obviously happy for my teammates.
Still got the medal?
Still got the medal, yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere in your 1,000 training boxes. It's somewhere
in one of them.
Darren Bent, as always, thank you very much. All right, that was a TalkSport 2 special, 10 games to define Jose's season. I'm Adi Oladipo. Up next is live commentary of Ludogorets against Spurs in the Europa League. That's up next.
Focus Hour on TalkSport 2 with 888 Sport. Take them on at 888sport.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
The only 'cause it's Friday food. The Impulse saw it in the queue and thought of you. The midweek treats. Yay! Debit MasterCard is the safe and easy way to pay online, in-store or on the move. For the little things that make every day priceless. Debit MasterCard. Learn more at mastercard.co.uk.
Before you sink into the driver's seat of an approved used Volvo, our Volvo Select team have made sure it's just right for you. With over 150 checks, letting you drive away knowing every time you get behind the wheel will be as good as the first. A 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so should you change your mind, it's no problem. Not that you will. And a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty, meaning whatever happens, you know we got your back. Visit volvocars.co.uk to find out more about Volvo Select. Program terms and conditions apply.
Think a global pandemic could stop us frying chicken? Nah. We're still here frying our best original recipe chicken for takeaway, delivery and drive-through. Oh, and the Wow Box is just $3.49. That's a fillet burger, fries and one piece of chicken for just $3.49. Only at KFC, ends 15th of November at participating restaurants subject to availability.
UK employers. The way you hire from the EU is changing from the 1st of January 2021. To hire anyone new from outside the UK, you'll need to register as a licensed sponsor. Getting a license normally takes 8 weeks and fees apply. New employees from outside the UK will also need to meet language, job and salary requirements. Find out everything you need to know about the UK's points-based immigration system at gov.uk/hiring from the EU.
It could be a first-timer, or a long-timer, or a once-in-a-whiler. It could be a little or a lot. It could be the ticket under your fridge magnet. It could be someone with your first name and last and middle. It could be you. This Saturday's £20 million lotto jackpot must be won. Or thousands of you will win a share of the jackpot. Play online or on the app. Lotto from the National Lottery. Your numbers make amazing happen. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over.
At Wix, we want to keep things simple as tradespeople get back out on the job. Get instant access to your 10% Trade Pro discount with the Wix Trade Pro app. Save every time you shop. Not a member? Download the app to register. Always cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Terms apply.
Friday evening, live Championship football. Cardiff City versus Bristol City. Coverage from 5, kick-off 6 p.m. on TalkSport 2. Now on DAB+.
TalkSport 2 Live.
So thanks for your company, a very good evening, and hope you are staying well and safe. Tonight, live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2, Spurs look to get back on track in Europe. Having disappointed in a big way a week ago against Royal Antwerp, this evening they can't afford any slip-up in Bulgaria.
So Spurs looking to make it 2 out of 2 and extend their impressive recent run to 11 games unbeaten in all competitions.
And it's 2 against 1, and it's got Refilov square, and Refilov fires it into the net to give Antwerp the lead. And it's all come after a horrible month of Ben Davies, and that is that, and Tottenham have been beaten. It's a famous victory for Royal Antwerp, who are in the group stage of the Europa League for the first time in their history. The Tottenham players to trudge off the field, knowing that they just haven't done themselves justice tonight. Antwerp, top of the group, have beaten Tottenham by a goal to nil.
They were very average. First half was a very disappointing display. Had a lot of territory, but didn't create enough chances. The decision making in the final third wasn't great, and didn't really put the goalkeeper under anywhere near enough pressure.
And it's not a knockout, but because of the defeat, the game becomes more important. Of course, there are still 12 points to play for, and we have already 3. But tomorrow is important that we win, or if you cannot win, at least if we get a point.
I'm not sure Jose really knows what his best centre-half partnership is.
Son with the cross, and it's turned in spectacularly. What a finish by Moussa Sissoko.
We want to go far as possible. That's how the big team win trophy, is to take a game after game and try to win games.
Son coming forward again for Tottenham, has got another chance, and Son has scored again. Into Harry Kane inside the penalty area. Kane with a shot, Kane with a goal.
Well, Jose Mourinho was scathing of his side's performance in Belgium last week, admitting he would have replaced all 11 starters if he had the chance, not just the 4 that he did remove 7 days ago. Since then, Jose seems to have tried to take responsibility for that performance, saying he blames himself for the way they approached the game. Well, Tottenham now can't afford another setback. They seek wins in back-to-back games against Bulgarian opponents Ludogorets to put themselves back in the driving seat for qualification to the knockout phase of the Europa League. Kick-off under an hour away. We bring you every kick of Ludogorets against Tottenham this evening on TalkSport 2 from 5:55. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host, Dan Windle. The Bulgarian minnows say it would be a dream come true to beat the Premier League title chasers Tottenham. Spurs have not suffered back-to-back defeats in the Europa League since 2011, something that they simply won't want to stomach this evening. Time for team news with all the details. Very good evening to our match commentator, Alex Crook.
Good evening, Dan. Well, a dream win for the home side will be the stuff of nightmares for Jose Mourinho after their bruising night in Belgium. Tottenham looking to show their European pedigree in Bulgaria. Jose Mourinho has stopped short of changing the entire 11, but no real surprise after his obvious dissatisfaction at that performance that only 4 of the team keep their places. There are 6 changes in total from Sunday's Premier League win over Brighton. Joe Hart comes in goal. Recalls also for Ben Davies, Harry Winks, Lucas Moura, Giovanni Lo Celso and Gareth Bale. Hart is the goalkeeper. Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer and Davis in front of him. Winks and Sissoko will hold in midfield. Lucas Moura, Lo Celso and Bale behind Harry Kane, fresh from scoring his 149th Premier League goal up front.
Alex, thank you very much. Our match summarised this evening, the former Spurs England forward, always top company. Evening to Clive Allen. Clive, how are you?
Hi Dan, I'm good, thank you, and you?
Yeah, very well, thank you for asking. Spurs have been largely impressive. Let's not forget that in recent weeks, Clive. Won in the Premier League again last weekend, but it was the much changed European lineup this time last week, that came in for severe criticism, and I guess rightly so. Plenty in Europe to put right tonight.
Absolutely. I think Jose will use it to good effect, I'm sure. He needs to keep this whole squad buoyed and motivated, and I think that his criticism was justified. He's just, I think, stamping that claim as to this Spurs squad can go close in a number of competitions this year, if not win, and he knows how to win. He knows how to go and get about the best out of his players, and that's exactly what I think he did, using that poor defeat, and it was a poor defeat, to get the Premier League result they needed, and I'm sure a result tonight.
Looking at the team news, 6 changes for Spurs from their win over Brighton last time out in the Premier League. Look, the games continue to come thick and fast. A large number of Spurs players, their squad, will also be expected, Clive, let's not forget, to head off and play for their countries next week. But are you surprised? Because 6 is plenty.
Yeah, it is, but again, I think he's going to have to shuffle the pack. He knows, obviously, where they are physically. Their conditioning will be very, very closely monitored, and he'll know exactly who needs game time, who needs just to be maybe eased at this stage, and some are sitting on the bench. Son is not involved from the start tonight, and you can understand resting him, because when the games are of the utmost importance, there's some big Premier League games to come, you will see Jose's first 11 for sure.
Front 3, Kane, Moura and Gareth Bale. Bale, of course, Clive, got the match winner at Brighton last time out. Slowly, Clive, every minute he gets is of value, isn't it, to Spurs, to really get him fully firing. Where does he look for you right now?
Yeah, he's not quite there. He's not the Gareth Bale certainly that we knew at Spurs a few years back, and he's been devoid of regular first team football on the front line, and certainly Premier League football. But I think that Jose's handled him particularly well. He's introduced him slowly. His game time has been built up. That goal will undoubtedly give him great confidence, and I think you could just see the way it's received by all the players and everybody at the weekend, that Gareth Bale is on his way back to his best.
You saw him up close, Clive, almost on a daily basis. What can he deliver, firing at every cylinder? Can he make the ultimate difference for Jose and for Spurs this season?
He certainly can. He can win games on his own. It might just be a magical moment when you work and having worked with him, seeing work day to day, when there's players of the ilk of Modric, Van der Bar, that all of a sudden Gareth Bale does something in training and they look round and say, did we just see what we just saw? And that was Gareth. His explosive speed, his undoubted technical ability, and certainly bringing that back to the club, I think, has buoyed everyone. It's just raised the bar slightly once again at Tottenham Hotspur.
If you're just joining us, 6 changes for Spurs this evening on TalkSport 2 Live. Clive Allen, our summariser. Dele Alli, not one of those changes, not restored to the starting 11 in Europe this evening, Clive. His future at Spurs, a big debating point this week. What are your thoughts on what's best for Dele moving forward?
Well, I think it's a very difficult situation. Dele Alli is devoid of all confidence at the moment. We saw that in the game in Belgium last week against Antwerp. He had a first half that was pretty horrendous. He couldn't keep the ball. Everything he tried seemed to go wrong. You could see it wasn't the case of not trying, it was just a case that it just wasn't happening for him. And Jose saw that, he took him out the fray, and I think that was a big statement. I'd like to think that Jose hasn't lost total patience with him, because he's an extremely good attacking midfield player. Played in the right way, with confidence at the top of his game. He's one of the best goal-scoring midfielders that you'll find even in the Premiership. So I do hope they don't jettison Ali, but I think that it might well mean a move away, maybe a loan, just something fresh for him to resurrect his career.
He could have an impact off the bench in Bulgaria tonight. You never know, Clive. He could be just looking for that moment to galvanise, to revitalise Dele Alli this season. At the very least, he needs to go out and seek a little bit of clarity, doesn't he, on his future? Do you see a loan move in January working for him?
I do, yes. I think that's something that could well just give him some freshness, and because he goes, say, somewhere where he's wanted, he knows he's wanted, almost a clean bill of health. He hasn't got the pressure of having to perform at the level that he certainly did at Spurs, and that dropped off dramatically last season. I think that was the worrying thing. This has just not happened overnight. So I think that just a fresh patch for Dele Alli might well be the answer for him to find what we know is great ability.
Jose Mourinho has strongly defended his captain, his leading man Harry Kane, as well ahead of tonight's Europa League match. Kane goes again in Europe this evening. He's had his say on the allegations of Kane diving, claiming players, Clive, at Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City are always on the floor when, even in the words of Mourinho, when somebody blows on them. Are there, Clive, maybe look at this little bigger picture, are there too many of our quality players, world-class players in the Premier League hitting the deck far too often?
Well, I think we see it, and the problem we have now is that obviously with VAR, obviously with super slow motion, you can look at situations, challenges, and they can actually look completely different to how they are in real time. And I think that it is a problem for referees. Referees are making decisions. They're not quite sure themselves. VAR looks at it. They then are alerted that it could possibly be a wrong decision. And I think that it's becoming very, very confusing. Players are taking advantage of it. It's as simple as that. If they can find an edge, if they can find an advantage by, as you say, going to ground when contact is minimal, they will do it for the advantage and for the team possibly winning.
It's interesting you say that, because Mourinho called Kane clever in the way he won the penalty the other night. Gareth Southgate, the England boss, today defending Kane as well, saying he needs more protection from referees. Clive, you'll know far better than me, but we know the pressure these guys are under, managers, coaches, players, to get results at any cost. So I'm not really sure how then we can debate and feel uncomfortable and get annoyed about how things then get done.
Absolutely, I think you're right, Dan. I think it's a very difficult situation, and this is unfolding with, obviously, and as VAR grows and we start to see it works in numerous situations, there's no doubt about that. The clarity is fantastic, but there are some grey areas, and obviously the way it's being interpreted is the problem that we're finding. When you see referees give decisions, they're then told by someone else that this might not be the right decision, and then they go and have to self-police themselves to find an answer to the decision they've made. That puts them in a very, very difficult predicament.
So an away game, then a home game, back-to-back in the Europa League against the Bulgarian side Ludogorets. Before we move on, Clive, got to say, hearing from our Bulgarian host, they cannot wait to go toe-to-toe with Spurs tonight.
Absolutely. They're 9 times champion of Bulgaria. They've been in fantastic form. They will relish, and having without a doubt studied Spurs and how they performed in Antwerp and in Belgium last week, they will look at it and feel that this is a big historic football club that they can take advantage of the situation, and that's exactly what they're looking to do. They want to progress to the knockout stages. That's their aim of this competition, and they would feel that they could do that along with Spurs if they can get some decent results over the next 2 games.
Plenty more from Clive Allen to come. We'll have more on our host before 5:55 as well, and kick off this evening here on Talk Sport 2 Live. Let's bring you the latest from the cricket, shall we? In the IPL today, the Mumbai Indians are playing the Delhi Capitals. Is the latest with Talk Sport 2 reporter. Very good evening to John Norman.
Good evening, Dan. Well, Delhi Capitals set 201 to win this playoff. An absolute sorts at 0 for 3, and they lost wickets regularly until up stepped the Australian all-rounder Marcus Stoinis, blazing away for 65 from 46 until he came up against his old nemesis Jasprit Bumrah. Certainly had his number when India were playing Australia in ODI cricket a couple of years ago, when he's just been clean bowled. So he's departed, and Delhi Capitals, who looked absolutely all out of this as a contest about 45 minutes ago, still doesn't look good for them. 89 needed from 29. They have the set Axar Patel at the crease. He's 30 not out, but that may well be it. Mumbai Indians 200 for 5 in response. At the start of the 16th over, Delhi Capitals 112 for 6.
John, thank you. A reminder, don't forget, live Saturday lunchtime as part of Game Day across the TalkSport network, you can hear Manchester United United's trip to Everton. That's live on TalkSport Saturday. Pressure building, mounting on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Make sure you listen to Paul Coit tomorrow morning on TalkSport 2. Big guest. He's joined by the legendary United midfielder Paul Ince, plus some United fans as they tell us if time is nearly up for Ole at Old Trafford. Back in a bit as we get around our reporters as elsewhere. Again, Arsenal, Leicester, Rangers, Celtic all in action in the Europa League this evening.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. This is TalkSport 2 Live.
The Mercedes-Benz A-Class is now available as a plug-in hybrid. It's every bit as exciting as the A-Class you know. Same sporty design, cutting-edge technology and widescreen digital display. But with one big difference. It now has an electric motor for shorter trips and the efficiency of intelligent hybrid driving modes to go even further. That means cheaper running costs than petrol or diesel alone and a lower road tax. Search Mercedes-Benz A-Class plug-in hybrid to find out more.
At Curry's PC World, we're proud to be the UK's #1 tech recycler.
Because we're all passionate about helping everyone go greener.
So we've made it even easier by launching our first Go Greener event.
When you buy our Go Greener tech, like our incredible LG fridges, Hotpoint washing machines and Samsung heat pump tumble dryers, we'll responsibly recycle your old tech for free.
Plus, we'll also deliver and install for free.
Our Go Greener event must end Monday.
At Curry's PC World. Full T's and C's with exclusions and availability at currys.co.uk.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In November, we've got 65mm Class B engineering bricks for just 39p each, excluding VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com. Selco, serving the trade for 125 years.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
VAT charged at 20%.
Guys, it's time we talked about the one thing an estimated 1 in 4 men in the UK will experience. Erectile dysfunction. Yeah, uncomfortable, isn't it? So let's talk treatments, like Aronix, exclusive to Lloyd's Pharmacy, available without prescription and now only $9.99 for 4 tablets. Shop today, in-store and online at lloydspharmacy.com. Lloyd's Pharmacy, always here for you. Offer ends 17th of November. Contains sildenafil. Always read the label, subject to suitability.
Running your own business doesn't have to be complicated, especially when it comes to getting paid. With the SumUp Air card reader, it's simple. Card payments with no monthly costs and no binding contract. The SumUp Air is simple, affordable, and allows contactless payments. Just pair it with your smartphone and get paid anytime and anywhere. With 73 branches across the UK, get your SumUp Air card reader from your local Denman's electrical wholesalers or at denmans.co.uk.
At Kia, our electric crossover range is available today and comes with the first 3 services free, with 4.9% representative APR finance until the end of December. There's the all-new Soul EV or the Kia Niro with a range of up to 282 miles on a single charge. And that's not all. Our range of hybrids come with 0% APR until the end of December too. So, stop wondering and start driving. Search Kia to find out more. 0% APR available over 24 months with minimum 20% deposit. Kia Finance. Range based on test conditions and may vary.
TalkSport Traffic and Travel. With Swinton Insurance Home Emergency Cover, you can relax this winter. If your heating breaks down, we've got it covered. Visit swinton.co.uk.
Kent, long queues on the coastbound M20 and the M26. There's a breakdown blocking a lane just after the M26 interchange. Queues are back to the M25. The M25 there also really busy anti-clockwise. It was blocked earlier after a collision near Orpington. Bedfordshire, the M1 northbound, long delays. 2 lanes are shut after a collision just by Dunstable South at junction 11. Queues back past Luton Airport junction 10. I'm Adam Moore.
Suzuki dealers love being helpful. Flo is a charity quiz master and Paz is a copper run genius. But what they really love is helping you drive happy. With great cars, great service and great offers, like 0% APR and no deposit on the agile hybrid Swift range. Search Suzuki Swift range to find out more. Suzuki, helping you drive happy. Participating dealers only. Minimum contract length applies. Suzuki Financial Services Limited. Terms and conditions apply. See cars.suzuki.co.uk/offers.
Game day this Saturday.
Everton versus Manchester United.
Another wonderful Everton goal.
Coverage from 11. Kick-off 12:30 on TalkSport.
Official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
on DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker. This is TalkSport 2 Live.
Well, Tottenham's Europa League hopes took a blow, didn't they, last week as they lost 1-0 to Royal Antwerp. The defeat in Belgium makes this evening's clash with Ludogorets, live here on TalkSport 2, even more significant as they look to qualify for the knockout stage of this competition, I guess without as much fuss as possible. Spurs make 6 changes, but Jose Mourinho has promised to go full power in Bulgaria tonight. That's underway from 5:55. Thanks for your company. I'm your host, Dan Whittle, on TalkSport 2. With me calling the action, our commentary team, Alex Crook and the former Spurs forward Clive Allen. Also underway from 5:55 this evening in the Europa League. Rangers are in Portugal taking on Benfica. Last year in this competition, Steven Gerrard's side beat Portuguese sides Porto and Braga twice. Will that experience benefit them this evening? Bringing us more details and some team news. Very good evening to TalkSport 2 reporter Graham Courtney.
Yeah, evening Dan. I think you're absolutely right. And, when you look over the last couple of years or so, Rangers actually equipped themselves pretty well overall. They're going along nicely, of course, in this season's Europa League. Played 2-1-2, so looking pretty good to qualify for the knockout stage, which gets underway next February, heading for the final in Gdansk. Now, last month, they beat the Polish side, Lech Poznan, thanks to a single goal from Alfredo Morelos. He'd just come on as a substitute. But earlier in the month, well, they'd gone to Belgium and they beat Standard Liège 2-0. Goals from James Tavernier and a belter from Kemar Roof, his goal from the halfway line has gone into the record books as being the furthest distance for a goal scored in the Europa League. He won't be very happy about things tonight, though. He's been dropped, but that's the way it often goes, isn't it? And, of course, Rangers going in great form, unbeaten and top of the Scottish Premier. So, those changes for Steven Gerrard from the Lech Poznan game. 4 changes. They are Roof, Hadji, Arfield and Balogun. They are out. In come Morelos, Jack, Aribo and Helander. So, that means Rangers line up like this. Alan McGregor in goal. To back 4 of James Tavernier, ex-Newcastle, so he will be the captain. And then alongside him is Connor Goldson, Philip Helander and Borna Barisic. And 3 just in front of them, that's Aribo, Steve Davis and Ryan Jack. With, up front, it's also a threesome. Morelos will play actually straight up front. And then on either side of him, on the left will be Ryan Kent. And on the right will be Glenn Kamara. What about Benfica? Well, I'm not giving their team, but they include 3 players you'll recognise at centre-half. There's the Argentinian, Nicolas Otamendi, spent 5 years with Man City. Only actually moved to Lisbon in September, around about £10 million. He's alongside the Belgian international, ex-Spurs, Jan Vertonghen, and another ex-Spurs and ex-QPR in midfield is the Moroccan Adel Tarabt. But could be an interesting game, this one, Dan.
Yeah, Graham, you're spot on, and you'll keep us bang up to date with it this evening. Benfica against Rangers, 2 wins from 2. Rangers also, let's not forget, 9 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership table. Steven Gerrard's side motoring.
Absolutely. And do you know what? I think Steven Gerrard has done such a cracking job there. I think when he first took that job, Dan, I think a lot of folk thought, what are you doing? Going to a club like Rangers, which, a bit like with Celtic as well, it's a real hotbed of football. So to go there for your first job in management...
To cut your teeth, isn't it? It really is.
Well, exactly, yeah. I think a lot of folk thought he'd probably go for somewhere, he'd look at another club in the Merseyside area, like a Preston or something, along those lines, where he can just go in and sort of get his feet under the table, learn about management, make sure he can get some good contacts and everything like that within the game, get his coaching set up. But to go straight to Rangers, I mean, that's an almighty gig, it really is. And, he's taken to it like a duck to water, and at the moment, they're challenging Celtic. They really, really are. So they're flying along. Good win against Kilmarnock. Not an easy place to go to. That was on Sunday. And Benfica, well, they've been flying as well. But on Monday night, they lost at Boa Vista, which a lot of people weren't expecting at all. So there we go. You have to say that Rangers going into this game absolutely flying, and perhaps at Benfica, they've just had a little bit of hiccup along the way. So it bodes well. Should be better of a match, though, overall.
I look at Benfica's record in Europe, though, looking to go 24 games unbeaten at home in this competition. They'd be the first side, Graham, when they in history to do that. This is a challenge, a real challenge in Europe tonight for Rangers.
It's a wonderful ground, isn't it? Stadium of Light, not Sunderland, and it's a belter. It really is. When you go along there, and I've been there actually, I'm lucky to have actually been to the ground several times, and you see it on the horizon. I mean, the motorway goes along the side of it, and you look across, and there's this huge theatre, and it's so impressive. It really is. It's in the Benfica area of Lisbon, and any player who's worth their salt wants to go to a place like that. So I think a lot of the Rangers players, I'm just hoping that, I mean, bear in mind, they take part, of course, on the regular big derby games in Scotland, so they'll be used to the pressure cooker sort of atmosphere. But I mean, that is one of those. That's the bucket list sort of ground to go to. It really is. It's a fantastic place. But, and you're right, Dan. Yes, I mean, terrific history by Benfica. At all European levels, but it just goes to show they're obviously not doing all that well, otherwise they wouldn't be in the Europa League, they'd be in the Champions League. So you have to say that if Rangers can actually get their act together, and if they get an early goal as well at the start, Morelos is going to be the key player playing up front, and if they could get an early goal, it might just unsettle Benfica.
Graham Courtney, thank you very much. Keeping an eye on Benfica Rangers for us. We can quickly hear from the Rangers boss, Steven Gerrard, who knows his side are facing a highly motivated Benfica team in the Europa League this evening. Gerrard says the Portuguese side have an added incentive to prove a point.
I'm sure they're still hurting a bit from not qualifying in the Champions League, and I'm sure they'll want to react from that and go all the way in this competition. You know, you can see why they're certainly one of the favourites.
Also this evening, 3 8 o'clock starts involving British sides in the Europa League tonight.
Arsenal right-hand side, El Neni sliding in inside the penalty area. What a moment this is for Aubameyang to walk it into the net for 2-1. And it's the two Arsenal substitutes that combine.
It's El Yunusi, what a wonderful goal! A stunner from Mohamed El Yunusi. Celtic ahead in Lille.
And Barnes has slid it through to Vardy, who's onside, into the area, angle tight, Jamie Vardy puts it past the goalkeeper.
Let's start at the Emirates. Two teams with 100% records in their group face off. Arsenal take on Molde. With more details, TalkSport 2's Ian Abrahams.
Good news for Mikel Arteta tonight is that David Luiz is available, having missed the wins against Dundalk and Manchester United after being forced off with a thigh injury in the defeat to Leicester. Arteta has said, though, he will change his squad round again, one more game before the international break, but most of his team will be away on international duty anyway.
They are really a strong physical team, really well organised. I would say defensively, really hard to beat when they get in this middle low block, with some creative players that are dangerous in the final thirds and a real threat on set pieces as well.
Both these sides have 100% records so far in Group B, with 6 points out of 6.
Arsenal right-hand side, El Neni sliding in inside the penalty area. What a moment this is for Aubameyang to walk it into the net for 2-1.
Arsenal will never face Molde before, but have got a good record against Norwegian opposition, having won 3 of their 4 matches. Meanwhile, Molde have never met an English side before, and Norwegian teams don't travel well normally to England in European matches. They've never beaten an English side away from home, drawing twice but losing 20 of the other matches.
Ian Abrahams keeping a close eye on that one for us at the Emirates. Also this evening at the King Power Leicester. They're going well at the moment, aren't they? They host Braga. Setting the scene for us more, TalkSport 2 reporter Jeff Peters.
Two sides in good form. Leicester on a 4-game winning streak, and for Braga it's 6. Both have begun their Europa League campaigns with back-to-back victories, beating Zoya and AEK. So one could argue these home and away fixtures on match day 3 and 4 may decide who eventually wins the group.
Leicester have been a bit shaky defensively at times. Perhaps no surprise with arguably the first choice back four all sidelined. But there goes the final whistle. They've done enough to see out the game and seal the points. Full time in Athens, AEK 1, Leicester 2.
Johnny Evans could miss out again for Leicester due to injury. They've got plenty of key players sidelined. Soyuncu and Didi, Castagna, Ricardo and Amate. But they seem to be doing all right without them. Wins away at Arsenal and Leeds has propelled them to second in the Premier League. Madison and Under may return to the lineup tonight. Both started in Greece last week. Braga are the top seeds in the group.
Braga have a good history in the competition. They've been consistently in it. They've started the season well. They've won 4 of their 6 games, with the other 2 being draws. So, like I say, with most teams in this level, they're used to winning. That's why they arrive in the competition in the first place. But Braga is a team with experience, really good players, and we've watched them closely as a staff, and we're very impressed by how they play.
They currently sit 3rd in Portugal, and they're managed by the former Swansea and Sheffield Wednesday boss Carlos Carvalho.
And finally up at Celtic Park from 8 o'clock, seeking a first European win in their group, Celtic hosts Sparta Prague. Here's TalkSport 2's David Tanner.
Well, Dan, when the draw was made, Sparta Prague in Glasgow was very clearly a must-win for Celtic. That's still the case, and now they have no wriggle room because they lost their first home game to a quality AC Milan side that is laughably seeded third in Group H.
2 defeats in a week for Celtic that finished Celtic 1, AC Milan 3.
After going 4 games without a win, Celtic looked far more like the real deal in Sunday's Scottish Cup semi-final win against Aberdeen. That built on Thursday's Europa League draw in Lille, when Neil Lennon appeared to successfully press the reboot button.
Obviously we've taken 1 point from 6 so far, so we've got a bit of catching up to do. We'll try and look for maximum points from both games. If not, then take 4 and then take our chances in the last 2 games where I think we're capable of taking points off both Milan and Lille.
A Mohamed El Yunusi double fired Celtic into a 2-goal lead, and although disappointed to finish with a draw, not to have lost in France was the pre-match target. Celtic are still without centre-backs Chris Ayer and Chris Jullien. James Forrest is out for another 2 months after ankle surgery. And the Czechs have a long absentee list, a mix of injury and COVID. They lost both of their previous group stage games. We kick off at 8. It's Celtic against Sparta Prague down.
David, thank you very much. Our reporters keeping us bang up to date tonight across the TalkSport network in the Europa League. How's the cricket going as well? The Mumbai Indians taking on the Delhi Capitals in the Indian Premier League today. What's happening, John Norman?
Yeah, this one is just about done. Mumbai Indians at 200 for 5. So the target for Delhi Capitals was 201. Well, they need to score 76 runs in 10 deliveries. Your maths is pretty good, Dan, and I think you know, with your background in cricket, that ain't going to happen. So it's Mumbai Indians who will march on. Delhi Capitals will have another opportunity, though, to make it through to the final next Tuesday. But they won't be taking the opportunity that they got today. 125 for 7. They need 76 from 10 deliveries.
Yeah, not even John Norman coming in at 9 would steer a side to victory in the IPL this evening. John, thank you very much. We'll be back shortly with more ahead of kick-off in Bulgaria this evening. Tottenham seeking significant success over Ludogorets as they steer their Europa League progress back on course. Next up, we'll recap the team news for you and bring you more on our Bulgarian hosts as well.
TalkSport 2, official broadcast partner of the EFL.
The moment you realise that cold radiator isn't warming up and you'll be working from home in your coat and gloves. The moment you realise you've British Gas Home Care boiler cover. From just 46p a day, you're covered for both parts and labour. And of course, we'll follow social distancing guidelines. Buy selected home care products online by the 25th of November and get 1 month free. British Gas, here to solve such British Gas Home Care. Conditions apply. Prices may vary by postcode.
UK employers. The way you hire from the EU is changing from the 1st of January 2021. To hire anyone new from outside the UK, you'll need to register as a licensed sponsor. Getting a license normally takes 8 weeks, and fees apply. New employees from outside the UK will also need to meet language, job and salary requirements. Find out everything you need to know about the UK's points-based immigration system at gov.uk/hiring from the EU.
The only 'cause it's Friday food. The impulse saw it in the queue and thought of you. The midweek treats. Yay! Debit MasterCard is the safe and easy way to pay online, in-store or on the move. For the little things that make every day priceless. Debit MasterCard. Learn more at mastercard.co.uk.
Hayley Turner here. The Injured Jockeys Fund helps so many former and current jockeys, as well as their families when needed. Please show your support and donate today. The Injured Jockeys Fund support those whose careers have been harmed by injury. By making a donation, you can help support their incredible work. Donate today and purchase Christmas gifts online at injuredjockeys.co.uk. Thank you, IJF.
Tired of the same old, same old? Switch it up with the new spicy quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's. Pepper jack cheese, onions and spicy jalapenos in a fiery sauce. Part of the quarter pounder range. Available until the 17th of November. Served from 11 a.m. Participating restaurants only, subject to availability.
Before you sink into the driver's seat of an approved used Volvo, our Volvo Select team have made sure it's just right for you. With over 150 checks, letting you drive away knowing every time you get behind the wheel will be as good as the first. A 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so should you change your mind, it's no problem. Not that you will. and a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty, meaning whatever happens, you know we got your back. Visit volvocars.co.uk to find out more about Volvo Select. Program terms and conditions apply.
At Wix, we want to keep things simple as tradespeople get back out on the job. Get instant access to your 10% Trade Pro discount with the Wix Trade Pro app. Save every time you shop. Not a member? Download the app to register. Always cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Terms apply.
TalkSport 2 Live.
Well, after delivering a rather limp performance last week in the Europa League, Tottenham know they need to deliver a response in Europe tonight. Jose Mourinho's side are in Bulgaria, clashing with Ludogorets. Kick-off under 25 minutes from now, live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2. Let's recap the team news for you. Important details with our match commentator, Alex Crook.
Well, in his pre-match press conference yesterday, Jose Mourinho promised to go full power with his team selection. It is a pretty strong Tottenham side in Bulgaria this evening. Aurier and Lamela are injured. Reguilon is ill. Son, Højbjerg and Ndombele are all rested. But it's still a lineup that should strike fear into Ludogorets. Joe Hart is the goalkeeper. Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer and Davis in defence. Then come Winks, Sissoko and Lo Celso in midfield, with Lucas Moura and Gareth Bale either side of Harry Kane, who does start in attack. Not too many familiar names in the Ludogorets lineup. The Bulgaria number one, Iliev, is in goal. Ikoko, Terziev, Verdon and Nedialkov make up defence. Badji and Anise will hold in midfield. Elvis Manu, once of Brighton and Huddersfield, is alongside Corley, and Dominic Yankov in behind Claudio Casero, the Romanian, up front.
Alex Crook, thank you very much. Ahead of a busy night for the British sides again in the Europa League. Let's get the latest odds with 888 Sport.
Football Form Focus on TalkSport 2 with 888 Sport. Predict the wins and draws in our free football predictor game. Up for 8 and you could win £8,000. Make your picks now at 888sport.com. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
A very good evening to Sandra Di Michele. Sandra, I hope you're well. Take us through Ludogorets Tottenham then, our live commentary on TalkSport 2. Important that Spurs deliver a response.
Yeah, good evening, Dan. Absolutely, it's important for Spurs to deliver a response, and the market certainly thinks they will deliver a response, and a comprehensive one at that. Tottenham 2-9 to win this match. The draw is 11-2. Ludogorets, the home team, are 21-2 to spring another European upset on Jose Mourinho's men. Tottenham to win by 2 or more is just 4-7, Dan. Tottenham to win by 3 or more is only 6-4. And when you see that starting lineup, you can understand why the market thinks there's a good chance Spurs score a few goals against this Ludogorets side.
Yeah, Bale, Kane, Moura in the front three. What's the goal scorer market look like?
Yeah, look, Harry Kane 12-5 to open the scoring, 2-1 on to score any time. Gareth Bale 4-1 to score first, and even money to open the score, and he's already opened his Tottenham account, hasn't he, with a goal now. Let's hope many more come. And Lucas Moura, an 11-2 chance to score first, 6-4 to score any time.
And elsewhere also, Sandra, maybe give us a rundown some of the other British sides in action, maybe starting with the other 5:55 start this evening. Tough one for Rangers against Benfica.
It is a tough one for Rangers, isn't it? It's probably their toughest fixture they'll have in the group stage, and they do go there as outsiders. But interestingly, there has been money for them over the course of the day. The Portuguese side, Benfica, 11-10 favourites for this. The draw is 5-2. Rangers are 12-5 to win the game and spring what would be a wonderful away victory for them. But we've seen them get away performances in Europe, haven't we, already this season? They're more than capable to do so. Arsenal take on Molde. Arsenal incredibly short for this one, 3-1 on to win the game. The draw 5-1. Molde 17-2. Celtic against Sparta Prague. Celtic 2-5 chances to win that. Just a note of caution though, we have seen Celtic get beaten at heavy odds on over the last few years in European football. So tread carefully there. The draw is 4-1 in that, and the Czech side Sparta Prague are 11-2. And then last of all, Brendan Rodgers, Leicester City, who've started off their Europa League campaign very impressively. They're 2-1 on at home to Braga. The draw is 13-5. Braga 21-4. If you fancy backing all the Scottish and the English teams tonight, Dan, you can back that fivefold at 11-1. That was 16-1 earlier in the day, so we've seen plenty of money for it. If you don't fancy Rangers because you think they're too big a price, you can back the fourfold at 5-2.
Sandro, always a pleasure. Top work. Stay safe. Look after yourself. That was the very latest odds with 888 Sport. Play responsibly. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Football Form Focus on TalkSport 2 with 888 Sport. Call 8 results from 8 games and win £8,000 in our free weekly football predictor. Up for 8. Fall short and we'll still give you a £1 free bet for each correct pick. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
8 results in the cricket in the IPL. TalkSport 2's John Norman.
Yeah, the 2019 IPL champions Mumbai Indians will contest the 2020 IPL final. You will be able to follow that on TalkSport 2 on Tuesday. They've defeated Delhi Capitals by 57 runs. A one-sided encounter in the end. Masterful batting throughout their scorecard, Mumbai Indians. Quinton de Kock, Yadav, Ishan Kishan and also Hardik Pandya at the end, setting an imposing total for Delhi Capitals, who, they lost it in the first 2 overs. 0 for 3 at one stage. They hobbled to the end. 143 for 8, nowhere close. Mumbai Indians win by 57 runs.
John, thank you. Let's bring you more on our Bulgarian host Ludogorets now with the Bulgarian football journalist Metodi Shumanov. He spoke with Paul Coit on Sports Day this morning.
They weren't on the football map at all, but then one of the wealthiest persons in Bulgaria, his name is Kirill Domoschiev, he's an entrepreneur. He decided to invest in them heavily, and he put them on the football map. And the really curious thing is that ever since they got promoted to the Bulgarian top flight for the very first time, that happened in 2011, they've always won the Bulgarian league ever since, making it 9 league titles in a row. So it's an absolutely unique story.
Let's talk about the team now then. From everything that I'm hearing, I'm a lot more nervous about this game than I would have been before. How good are Ludogorets right now?
They are in a transition period because a few weeks ago they sacked their Czech manager Pavel Verba. So they have a new coach, Stanislav Genchev, who used to be one of Verba's assistants.
Right.
He used to be in charge of Ludogorets last season as well. He's very familiar with the club, knows it inside out. And now it's up to Genchev to bring back the success to Ludogorets. But it depends on if he will be capable of using some of his key players, because, for example, strikers Claudiu Cheșiru, a Romanian international, and Kirill Despodov, a Bulgarian international, they're recovering from injuries.
Right.
And they are really doubtful for today's game. For example, last week, Ludogorets played against Lask without a proper striker, with winger Elvis Manu acting as a false 9, and Manu scored a hat-trick. So maybe if he starts tonight, he's the one to watch out for.
So I'm guessing, obviously, Spurs are going to be the favourites, but this is not going to be a walk in the park, is it? Or a walk in the crazy forest, I should say.
No, not at all. For example, Tottenham came to Bulgaria a few months ago. If you remember, they played cup winners Lokomotiv Plovdiv, and
I do remember that.
Gave them a good run for their money. So if Spurs underestimate Ludogorets, they're going to suffer.
Paul Coit there with the Bulgarian football journalist Metodi Shumanov talking host tonight, Ludogorets in Bulgaria, before the final break and kick-off fast approaching tonight on TalkSport 2. Let's get back to our commentary team. I want to get Alex and Clive's quick thoughts on the big breaking news developing today. Alex, you've been leading this one for us on the TalkSport network. Manchester United have approached the former Spurs manager Mauricio Pochettino with a view of him replacing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the club's next manager.
Absolutely, Dan. That's my understanding of the situation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be in charge for the game live on TalkSport on Saturday morning against Everton. Indeed, that game may not prove pivotal for his future. There is a reluctance on behalf of the Manchester United board to part company with the Norwegian, who of course is a very popular figure, certainly among the match-going supporters at Old Trafford when fans are allowed in, that is. But they have held talks with the advisors of Mauricio Pochettino just to ask the question, if the vacancy does suddenly become available, would you be interested? And my understanding is that Mauricio Pochettino, former Southampton, former Tottenham manager, would be very interested in taking charge at Old Trafford.
Clive, your thoughts on that one?
No surprise. I think that obviously Manchester United will be looking for a new manager. I think that is inevitable. I think Ole has had a difficult time. Great guy, loved by the Manchester United supporters, as Glenn Hoddle was at Spurs, but there are times when there needs to be change, and you just think with the results that certainly last night in the Champions League, I'm not so sure how long Ole can survive. And Mauricio is available. Mauricio, I think, has the credentials to certainly take the reins at Manchester United.
Boys, thank you. Kick-off in Bulgaria comes live in exclusive next, here on TalkSport 2.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker. This is TalkSport 2 Live.
Fillet of fish from a dish, share box and evening frocks, Big Mac down a cul-de-sac and even under a drying rack, medium fries in rainy skies, or maybe cheeseburgers in the bath. How daft. Wraps through cat flaps, nugs on rugs, or perhaps a McChicken sandwich to the river. Because yes, we deliver. Download Uber Eats or Just Eat and enjoy McDonald's at home. At participating McDonald's and locations only. See mcdonalds.co.uk/McDelivery to see if there's one near you. See Uber Eats or Just Eat app for full details. Delivery fee applies.
Ancestry is making millions of UK wartime records free to explore until Remembrance Sunday. Who will you remember? Discover your family's wartime story, learn about the part they played, and ensure their memory lives on. Bring your backstory to life with Ancestry. Registration required.
Running your own business doesn't have to be complicated, especially when it comes to getting paid. With the SumUp Air card reader, it's simple. Card payments with no monthly costs and no binding contract. The SumUp Air is simple, affordable, and allows contactless payments. Just pair it with your smartphone and get paid anytime and anywhere. With 73 branches across the UK, get your SumUp Air card reader from your local Denmans electrical wholesalers or at denmans.co.uk.
Before you sink into the driver's seat of an approved used Volvo, our Volvo Select team have made sure it's just right for you. With over 150 checks, letting you drive away knowing every time you get behind the wheel will be as good as the first. A 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so should you change your mind, it's no problem. Not that you will. And a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty, meaning whatever happens, you know we got your back. Visit volvocars.co.uk to find out more about Volvo Select. Program terms and conditions apply.
The moment you realise that cold radiator isn't warming up and you'll be working from home in your coat and gloves. The moment you realise you've British Gas Home Care boiler cover from just 46p a day, you're covered for both parts and labour. And of course, we'll follow social distancing guidelines. Buy selected home care products online by the 25th of November and get 1 month free. British Gas, here to solve such British Gas home care. Conditions apply. Prices may vary by postcode.
With Vodafone's half price and limited SIM only offers, you can get unlimited mobile data from just £11 a month for the first 6 months. Wow, that's actually really good. Are we done here? I might just order one for myself. That's unlimited mobile data from just £11 a month on the UK's best mobile data network. It's a great time to switch to Vodafone. Ready? Vodafone.
2 megabits per second and 10 megabits per second speed cap apply to unlimited plans. £22 per month for month 7. Available on 24-month unlimited SIMO plans. Terms apply. See vodafone.co.uk.
TalkSport Traffic and Travel with Swinton Insurance Breakdown Cover. Add it to your car insurance policy and you won't need to worry about keeping moving this winter. Visit swinton.co.uk. UK.
Kent, long queues on the coastbound M20 and the M26. There's a breakdown blocking a lane just after the M26 interchange. Queues are back to the M25. The M25 there also really busy anti-clockwise. It was blocked earlier after a collision near Orpington. Bedfordshire, the M1 northbound, long delays. 2 lanes are shut after a collision just by Dunstable South at junction 11. Queues back past Luton Airport junction 10. I'm Adam Moore.
TalkSport 2 Live.
Moxie ball from the back. Goal is in. It's in for 2-2. Flicked on by one centre-half and headed in by Turkey of the far post. And Ludogorets have equalised.
And that is that. And Tottenham have been beaten. It's a famous victory for Royal Antwerp.
Of course, we are going to try to win the match. I don't think it was Antwerp about the players. I think it was about the attitude, was about the way we faced the game.
Right-footed cross towards Gareth Bale, and there's the goal. And there's Gareth Bale's first goal for Tottenham since 2013. Bale is back with a bang for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, another away trip awaits for Tottenham in their efforts to progress from Europa League Group J. This evening they're in Bulgaria taking on Ludogorets. Every kick of the action just around the corner, live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2. Thanks for your company. Our summariser this evening, the former Spurs and England forward Clive Allen. Clive, Mourinho's words used multiple times in the build-up. Attitude. Players didn't take their chances given to them last week in the Europa League. Those coming in must tonight in Bulgaria.
Yeah, perform in a professional manner. Give it sort of everything they've got. Jose will be watching intently as to who's performing and who's not got the right attitude, because going forward he feels he's got a squad that can be very competitive this season, but he needs to know that he can rely on people if they're not in the side, and he will need them with a number of games coming up. So it is about Spurs' attitude this evening. Yeah,
Ludogorets top of the Bulgarian league on goal difference, lost to Antwerp and Lask in Europe so far, but been suggested to me in the build-up, Clive, Ludogorets, an adventurous, forward-thinking side. I was impressed how Royal Antwerp based themselves off the front foot against Spurs 7 days ago. There'll be challenges for Spurs defensively, and then they'll be looking, okay, how can we counter on them if that's the case?
Absolutely, and I think that certainly Genchev, the coach and the new coach of Ludogorets, have studied that game. He would have seen how Antwerp went about it and got their victory, and I'm sure he's hoping that his side can capitalise on that. I think if there is one just weak area for Spurs at the moment, it's the consistency in defence. They will concede goals, have conceded goals, and if they're going to be winners this season, I think that's an area they have to address.
Is Eric Dyer a better option for Spurs at centre-half for you, Clive?
Well, Jose seems to think so. I think he trusts in him, and I think that's something that he's gone on record as saying. And alongside Alderweireld, I think that is a very strong partnership. Toby has been outstanding over a number of years. He's still at the club, signed a new contract, and I think that those two could be the two that Jose puts his faith in.
Looks like Bale maybe start in the 10. Do you think central position?
Possibly, although I do think that it might be where he just rotates and they interchange. He interchanges certainly with Harry Kane, and there's a lot of pace if you had Bale on the left.
Well, across the TalkSport network, we'll keep you up to date with goals as they go in Europe this evening. Don't forget, here on your home of the EFL Live Championship action for you tomorrow night. Cardiff against Bristol City. Details of game day to come throughout the evening here on TalkSport 2. And starting today, many of you are remaining at home, being asked to do difficult things to protect those around you. Well, during these uncertain times, we promise to entertain, to inform on the TalkSport network, to keep you bang up to date with the latest news and action. This evening, Spurs, well, they can't afford to slip up in Bulgaria. They take on Ludogorets. Let's bring you the starts on TalkSport 2 with our commentary team of Clive Allen alongside Alex Crook.
And on bonfire night, Tottenham are looking to rediscover their European sparkle. Jose Mourinho provided the fireworks after last week's shock defeat at Royal Antwerp. His grumpy Instagram post calling his players in for extra training following that lacklustre display was branded childish by TalkSport's own Martin Keown. It had the desired effect, with Spurs bouncing back against Brighton at the weekend. But that result, the 1-0 reverse, has certainly increased the importance ahead of this game. It was also a rare blemish on Mourinho's Europa League CV, ending his 12-match unbeaten streak in the competition, a run he'll be desperate to get back on track tonight. Ludogorets may not historically be regarded as one of Bulgaria's biggest clubs, They have won their domestic league in each of the last 9 seasons. Spurs players know they cannot afford to underestimate their hosts, not without fear of another public dressing down anyway. Clive Allen, the former Tottenham striker, is alongside me tonight. It's just about a professional away performance, isn't it, for Tottenham?
Undoubtedly, I think that is emphasised by the selection of the players from Jose Mourinho. I think that there's a good balance to the side, certainly as we talked about that pace up front, and Bale and Kane together I think are growing the understanding, and for me I think they're going to have too much for what is a confident Ludogorets side, but too much this evening.
Yeah, Ludogorets have a virtually unblemished home record, certainly in their domestic league. It's not gone quite so well in this competition down the years. They've only won one of their last 11 home matches in the Europa League. Can Tottenham extend that run tonight? As Clive Allen has already alluded to, it's a very strong lineup from Jose Mourinho. Harry Kane and Gareth Bale both start. Son only on the bench, so we will have to wait a little bit longer for that formidable trio to be paired together from kick-off. The Tottenham lineup in full is Hart in goal, Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer and Davis in defence, Winks, Sissoko and Lo Celso in midfield, with Lucas Moura, Harry Kane and Gareth Bale providing the firepower up front. As for Ludogorets, Plamen Iliev, the Bulgarian number 1, is their goalkeeper. It's Sissoko, Terziev, Verdon and Nedialkov in defence. Badji and Anise hold in midfield. Elvis Manu, who had a stint at Brighton and Huddersfield, is part of an attacking foursome alongside Corley, the Brazilian, Dominic Yankov, and up front is Claudio Casero. We are just about ready for kick-off. All eyes on the Croatian referee Fran Jovic. The start of another busy night in the Europa League. We'll keep you abreast of all the action here on TalkSport 2 and over on TalkSport, and it will be Ludogorets all in green and shooting from right to left in this first half, who get proceedings off and underway. Tottenham in their all-white strip, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side. And the referee is finally ready, and we are off and underway here on TalkSport 2 on a misty night in Bulgaria. Will it be a winning evening for Jose Mourinho? Tottenham needing the points to get their Europa League campaign back on course, and Jose Mourinho straight away is barking instructions. Clive Allen,
he's trying to join in. He's come out of his technical area. He's almost crossed the touchline to get involved. Interesting that Bale started on the right, Moura on the left, coming off the left side, leaving Harry Kane as that lone striker. So stringing 5 across midfield. Lo Celso given the opportunity to join from that central midfield position.
Yeah, 40 seconds gone. Ludogorets have had a lot of the ball so far in these very early exchanges. Ben Davis, the Welsh international, side puts it back to Joe Hart, all in orange.
Just a little tester for Joe Hart, that was. It was a right-footed pass from Davis, and he played it straight towards the goal, and all of a sudden Joe Hart didn't look particularly comfortable about his right-footed control.
He hasn't had much game time, Joe Hart, in recent seasons. This is only his 7th appearance since the start of the 2019-2020 campaign, so inevitably at his age as well there will perhaps
have added to his tally of goals what was Spurs' fantastic football.
He scored 35 goals in 59 European appearances, Harry Kane. He should have just increased that total. A wonderful chance inside 2 minutes, and just the start that Jose Mourinho would have been looking for. Here's Davis marauding down that left-hand side for Tottenham. 0-0 the score. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Alex Crook and Clive Allen, your commentary team for this one, as Sissoko picks up the ball inside the centre circle. Short pass forward to Giovanni Lo Celso. Tottenham moving the ball around in a confident manner. Here is Matt Doherty, who had his first taste of European action in this competition with Wolverhampton Wanderers last season. The Republic of Ireland fullback.
And he will get forward at every opportunity, Alex, with Bale playing on the right side. Gareth going inside with his favourite left foot will allow Doherty to get forward at every opportunity.
Only 4 survivors, remember, from the team that started the match in Belgium against Royal Antwerp last week. He made 4 changes, Jose Mourinho, at half-time in that one, before posting his dissatisfaction sat alone at the front of the team coach. They are staying in Bulgaria tonight. Tottenham, they've hired an entire hotel. No chance taken, of course, with COVID-19. It's Ludogorets who have the ball midway inside their own territory with Jordan Ikoko, the French defender.
Alex, that's interesting that they're staying. There's all different ways in which you try to combat playing Thursday and then with your Premier League. It's psychological, but you're playing catch-up, Alex. That's the impact that it has on you, because if the teams around you win, you've got to win to stay level with them. If they lose, the pressure is just heightened a little, that you need to try and take advantage of that. But because of the nature of again, thundering back off the upright. It's a really good strike from Harry Kane. It's just a fraction from going inside the upright.
But already, Clive, 7 minutes in, it looks a different mindset from Spurs from the one that we saw in Belgium last week.
Yeah, it's a positive start, it's a confident start. They're passing the ball well, they're feeding Harry Kane. He's had two glorious opportunities. By his standards, he should have had a brace of goals.
Elvis Manu has just played it back into the centre circle. It's stroked out now to the left-hand side, and the captain for Ludogorets, Anton Nedialkov. The home side just trying to feel their way into the game. Tottenham having started in dominant fashion. Here is Ikoko down the right. In the end, Ikoko overhit the pass, and it's collected inside the penalty area by the former England number 1 Joe Hart, deputising for Hugo Lloris. Lloris having made his 100th European appearance in that defeat against Royal Antwerp. So Tottenham with 1 win and 1 loss from their 2 games so far. Jose Mourinho once again in the purple raincoat is gesticulating down on the touchline. This very compact arena, virtually empty of course, as it's played forward to Doherty, heads it down on the edge of the Ludogorets penalty area. Clever touch from Gareth Bale into the feet of Lo Celso. Here is Bale over on the right hand side. Tottenham looking a threat every time they come forward. Lo Celso rolls it into the feet of Bale, 25 yards out.
Well, there's a lot of movement on that Spurs front line. Harry Kane's dropped deep. Gareth Bale's ended up the centre forward on a couple of occasions, and Lucas Moura is joining from the wide position coming in field.
And Lo Celso has just won Tottenham a free kick in a very promising position. It was clumsy from Olivier Verdon.
Well, he just gets he gets hold of Lo Celso. He protects the ball. He gets his body between himself and the defender, and he just grabs him, hauls him to the ground. Opportunity. There's a chance to strike from this sort of distance.
Although Alderweireld and Eric Dyer have both come up from the back, which suggests that maybe Gareth Bale might float this in, but if you look at the way he's standing over the ball, legs outstretched, big puff of air, I think he's going to go for goal here, Gareth Bale, no question about that.
Well, the way he's standing, the way he's approaching it, it looks like Gareth's going to try and hit that ball with dip and swerve.
The goalkeeper stands 2 yards off his line. Gareth Bale with a left-footed effort. Oh, and it was an uncomfortable moment for the goalkeeper. I think it bounced just in front of him, and in the end he just pushes it behind for a corner.
Well, that was a difficult one to deal with, because I don't think Gareth Bale actually hit it as well as he wanted, but it bounces a yard in front of the goalkeeper, skips up off the turf, and he does well just to parry it round the corner. Could easily have just turned that into his own net.
Wasn't convincing from Iliev. In comes the corner towards the near post and flicked over the bar and behind by Alderweireld up from the back. Good delivery.
That's a chance. That's a in-swinging ball into that 6-yard box. Chance just to flick it on at that near post over the crossbar.
10 minutes gone. Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 0. More live football coming your way tomorrow on TalkSport 2. I'll be watching the 7-side derby. Bristol City travelling to Cardiff. Sam Parkin alongside me. That's a 6 o'clock kick-off in the Championship. Of course, game day returns on Saturday. A massive game for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, given what we're hearing about Mauricio Pochettino and a possible move to Old Trafford as Manchester United go to Everton. That's a 12:30 kick-off on Saturday. Got an instant here. Ben Davies and Claudio Casero both jumping for the same ball. I think Davies has been penalised for a foul.
But he comes over the top of Casero, just makes a back. Not dissimilar to the challenge that Lallana made on Harry Kane that resulted in Spurs' penalty against Brighton at the weekend, but this time Davies coming over the top of him is deemed to have fouled.
Just on the subject of Manchester United, with the pressure mounting on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, make sure you listen to Paul Coit tomorrow morning here on TalkSport 2. He'll be joined by former United midfielder Paul Ince, plus some fans, as they tell us if time is nearly up for Ole at Old Trafford. 11 minutes gone in Bulgaria. Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 0. Harry Kane having blazed a good chance over the crossbar inside 2 minutes, has also been denied by the inside of the post. And Toby Alderweireld up for a corner, heading it behind for a goal kick. So plenty of chances already for Spurs. It's their second trip to Bulgaria this season. They won 2-1. Not in convincing fashion, it has to be said, against Lokomotiv Plovdiv in qualifying. It's a European journey that started in North Macedonia and they hope will end in the final in Gdansk in May.
And that big prize, Champions League football, it might be the way to be playing in the Champions League next season. So a massive prize at the end of this competition.
History tells us Jose Mourinho does tend to pick up trophies in his second season. And this is, of course, his second season, his first full season as Spurs manager.
He sees this as a realistic opportunity, Alex, there's no doubt about that. And that's why I think he was so disappointed with the nature of the performance against Antwerp, and that's why he's picked this particular group of players to get the result tonight, to bring them up amongst the leaders in this group.
Here's Lo Celso playing it out wide down the left-hand side to Ben Davies, who is always keen to roam forward. He's back now with Harry Winks on the edge of the centre circle, but still inside Ludogorets territory, collected by Gareth Bale with his back to goal. He's forced out that left-hand side, but Davies is still forward. Davies with a low ball into the area, not brilliantly dealt with, and Lucas Moura with a shot in the end deflected and loops over the crossbar for another Tottenham corner.
Well, good work down the left by the two Welsh boys, Bale and Davies combining. First time cross that pops back to Lucas Moura. He tries to fire it in with his left foot, but blocked by Verdon after he made the mistake. He should have cleared, but he made up for it with a block.
Lucas Moura to take the corner. It's from the left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed in-swinger, I think. And there are all kinds of Spurs players jostling for position on the edge of the 6-yard box. Here it goes for Lucas Moura, and there's the header. And this time there is no mistake. Harry Kane, having passed up a couple of early opportunities, has nodded beyond Iliev, and with 13 minutes gone, it is Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 1.
Excellent movement from Spurs in that 6-yard box, and that resulted in Harry Kane getting the clear header. You just can't give this guy chance after chance, because eventually he takes it, and there's good movement. Dyer, Alderweireld. They're all moving around, dragging defenders away, and who pops up in the middle, in the space? Gareth Bale creates an opening as well, but it's that man, Harry Kane. He gets his head to it, he powers it, he gets hands to it, but can't keep it out.
Goal number 12 of the season for Harry Kane, fresh from his 149th Premier League goal against Brighton at the weekend. They are his currency of choice, and he is cashing in once again here on TalkSport 2. Harry Kane with a header. And we've only played 14 minutes, Clive. He could have had a hat-trick.
He could have had a hat-trick. And Alex, we talk about attitude, and that's the attitude that Jose wants from every one of his players. Harry Kane wants to be here, he wants to be playing, he wants to be out there taking chances. He by his standards, he passed up the first, the good effort, the second that hit the upright, but the third one, he's not going to pass up opportunities of that nature.
And I said to you off mic, why does Harry Kane start every game? And you said, well, he wants to play every game, he wants to score goals, and we're seeing that already, aren't we?
Absolutely. Fantastic attitude towards playing the game and wanting to win and wanting to score goals.
Just seen the first yellow card of the evening. It's gone to the Madagascar international Anise for rather cynically hauling back Lucas Moura as he was away down the left hand side. It's another Tottenham free kick inside the Ludogorets half.
Alex, you just feel a second goal for Spurs now, and they'll take complete control of this game. They've started brightly, they deserve to be in the lead, and a second goal now I think would just really make it almost impossible for Ludogorets to get anything from this tie.
Here's Lo Celso for Spurs, trying to roll it forward. Gareth Bale have made the run, but it's overhit and collected by Plamen Iliev. He's a goalkeeper who's used to picking the ball out the net from Harry Kane. Kane scoring 4 times against him in qualifying for the European Championships, and he scored again inside the first 14 minutes of this one. Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 1. It's a free kick for the home side, a barge in the back from Harry Winks on Stephen Badgie.
And Winks has started the game where he's playing in that holding midfield position along with Sissoko. That's the protection for Alderweireld and Dyer at the heart of that Spurs defence, but they've been in total command of this game. And what I like about Harry Winks tonight is he's looking to play balls forward into Kane's feet, into Gareth Bale, who's coming in off the line. Harry Winks being very productive.
Yeah, it's been a really good start from Tottenham, a complete contrast really to what we saw last week. Of course, the Europa League campaign has been very congested at the start of the season. They do have a break now, don't play again in this competition until the end of November, when Ludogorets will be making the trip to North London. If they can win that one and pick up 3 points here tonight, they will be well on their way to a place in the knockout stages.
And I'm sure that's the intention from Jose Mourinho. Get the job done, get qualified as quickly as possible, and then yes, he can rotate the team. It might not be the strongest team playing in the final few games of this competition should Spurs have already qualified.
17 minutes gone, Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 1. Just to remind you of some of the other live football coming your way on Saturday. I've already mentioned Everton against Manchester United. That kicks off game day on TalkSport here on TalkSport 2 at the same time. It's Reading at home to Stoke. Reading, who started the season really well but have lost their last couple of matches. At 2:30 on TalkSport, Adrian Durham will be going around the ground for goals as they go in, as Gareth Bale picks it up 4 yards outside the penalty area, rolls it out to Lucas Moura. Moura with a cross, blocked by Ikoko. They're not convincing at all defensively, Ludogorets, and it's collected now inside the centre circle by Eric Dyer.
Alex, they can't keep the ball, they're scrambling. Gareth Bale on 2 or 3 occasions now has come from the right side, ended up in the D and receiving balls played forward.
And here's Davis, a dangerous looking ball into the area, headed down by Nedi Alkov. It struck his own teammate but has fallen kindly for the captain. He's made a good run here, Nedi Alkov, all the way from the edge of his own penalty area to the halfway line, and he was side down by Lo Celso. It's a free kick. That was like watching Franz Beckenbauer all of a sudden.
Yeah, he just strode out, didn't he? Look well balanced and running into Spurs half, and Winks comes to engage him, but it's Lo Celso sliding backwards that catches him before retrieving the ball. Referee deemed it was a foul because of the nature of the challenge.
It's the voice of Clive Allen, the former Tottenham legend, here on TalkSport 2. Our championship game on Saturday, by the way, 3 o'clock, Norwich at home to Swansea. At 5:30 on TalkSport Live, an exclusive commentary of Chelsea against Sheffield United. And at 8 o'clock, rounding off a bumper day, I'll be at West Ham as they take on Fulham, the Scott Parker derby. That's live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2.
Scotty, who certainly will be buoyed by Fulham's first points in the Premier League.
Yeah, played well against West Bromwich Albion, although the writing already looks on the wall for the Baggies. They are Tottenham's next opponents, of course. No doubt Slaven Bilic will be studying this one closely. He'll be pretty impressed with what he's seen from Tottenham so far. 1-0 they lead. Harry Kane with a header on 13 minutes.
Well, looking ahead, Alex, you would say that there is still a number of personnel who could well be involved against West Brom. Obviously, Sonny's on the bench, Lamela, Reguilon, who's ill, and Ndombele, who are not taking part tonight. So Jose has the opportunity to shuffle the pack again.
Yeah, Dele Alli also amongst the Tottenham subs tonight. Didn't exactly cover himself in glory against Royal Antwerp, hence the fact he's not in from the start.
Alex, it's going to be very, very difficult for Dele Alli to work his way back into the starting lineup in the Premier League, the way that the team's performing and certainly the way they're playing this evening.
Yeah, Ludogorets have played their way into trouble again. Lo Celso with a curler from the edge of the area over the crossbar. Gareth Bale, I think, was contemplating going for goal himself, but unselfishly played in Lo Celso.
Yeah, it was a smart pass into his feet. He receives it in the D. He tries to just open up and side foot it into the top corner. In the end, just opens up and fires just wide.
Here come Tottenham again. Lucas Moura this time with a low shot. The goalkeeper was rooted to the spot. It bounces just past the post and wide.
Well, he nearly catches Iliev out because he's coming off the left side. He fires from just on the corner of the box. The goalkeeper just stands rooted. He thinks he's going left. The ball just goes right, left side of the upright. It really was a disguised effort from Lucas Moura that went very close.
Iliev with the clearance upfield. Again, they took a bit of a chance there. Ludogorets just playing the ball around inside their own penalty area. It's coming straight back at them every time. Sissoko this time looking for the run of Bale. Puts his thumb in the air to salute the efforts from Sissoko, but it carries all the way through to the goalkeeper.
Alex, already 20 minutes in and Spurs finishing being clinical. They could have been 3-4 goals in front. This game could have been put to bed already.
7 shots already for Tottenham. Harry Kane denied by the inside of a post and missing an easy chance before his header broke the deadlock. Tottenham looking to avoid back-to-back Europa League defeats for the first time since 2011, and they lost to Rubin Kazan and Pauk.
Well, the only test Joe Hart's had was that back pass from Davis, which just tested his right-footed touch, played back into his own 6-yard box.
The ball is bobbling around a bit, isn't it? And you can see the pitch is cutting up. It isn't the best playing surface that we've ever seen.
Just 1 or 2 touches from players have just got away from them because it is bobbling. They're just having to take their time. It is about having that good first touch and then being able to distribute the ball quickly.
Eric Dyer trying to do that, switching it out to the left-hand side. Davis keeps it in play. Under no real pressure. Sissoko then stabs it forward, looking for Lo Celso. It falls kindly for Lucas Moura. Here's Lo Celso again, trying to give it back to Lucas Moura. Cleared this time by Georgi Terziev. But Ludogorets have barely been able to string half a dozen passes together. They're coming forward here with their captain, Nedialkov. He plays a good-looking ball out to the right-hand side. Lucas Moura there to head it half away. This is better play from the home side. In comes the cross and Matt Doherty there to nod it clear. Then Eric Dyer has played it back towards the corner flag and it goes behind. A bit of frustration there from Ben Davis as he was unable to keep it in play. It was a slice clearance from Dyer.
Yeah, it was a sloppy clearance from Eric Dyer. He acknowledged that, put his hand up. He trying to just hook the ball away, I think off the outside of his right boot. In the end, he slices it away for a needless corner conceded.
Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 1. We've reached the midway point of the first half. The corner is going to be taken by Badgie from the right-hand side, and again it bounces menacingly inside the 6-yard box. The Ludogorets players were screaming for handball. It's Harry Kane in the end who clears it upfield.
I think it was Harry Kane initially who headed the clearance. It ricocheted around in that Spurs penalty box. There was an appeal from one or two of the Ludogorets players for a penalty. Referee immediately waved it away.
And here's Gareth Bale trying to take on Ikoko. Ikoko stands firm and it's back now inside the Ludogorets penalty area with the glove-wearing Verdon.
Alex, I think the good thing looking at Gareth Bale is that he looks to be in good physical condition. Certainly there's been a couple of occasions his touch has been nice, but when in possession of the ball he wants to run, he wants to use that explosive power and speed, and that is a really good sign, I think, for all Spurs supporters.
I'm sure he's added his name to the petition asking for golf courses to reopen during this second lockdown.
Perhaps it might be to Spurs' advantage if they're not open, Alex. It's Eric Dyer that it hits, and it was Harry Kane's flicked header that inadvertently certainly struck the arm of Eric Dyer, but that was really rooted to his side, and it would have been harsh.
Oh, good ball from Lucas Moura, trying to play in Harry Kane, who was in between those two centre-backs again, but it just rolls through tamely in the end for Iliev. Been impressed with Tottenham's fluidity up top and their movement. Haven't given the Ludogorets defence a moment's peace so far in these first 25 minutes.
No, they've been very good. The interplay and passing has been very, very sharp, but that's allied with the movement of the front players in particular has worked really well. Lo Celso's getting the ball in the pocket.
Here he is again. Forward it goes. Goes to Harry Kane, looks up towards goal, plays it across the 6-yard box. Lucas Moura couldn't turn it in. It's a great save by Iliev to deny Doherty on the follow-up, pushes it behind for a corner. So close there, Tottenham, to a second goal.
Really good play. Lo Celso rolls it into the run of Harry Kane in the 18-yard box. He's wide of the 6-yard line. He cuts it back just behind Moura. That then pops out to Doherty, who fires in with his left foot tipped over by the goalkeeper. Just need to be ruthless here, Spurs, and kill this game off.
Lo Celso with a corner, looking for Gareth Bale at the far post. Only clear as far as Doherty. Nods it out to the edge of the area, and Sissoko goes all the way back to halfway. And Ben Davies, now Winks, playing it out to the right. This is Lo Celso. Coming a few yards infield. Ludogorets with everybody in green camped back behind the ball. You're listening to Talk Sport 2. Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 1. Alex Crook and Clive Allen calling the action. Sissoko plays it down that left-hand side to Davis once more. Hasn't had to worry too much, Ben Davies, about defending.
No, he's played as almost like a left winger on the left, and Doherty on the right. He's high on the lines. That's forced Bale inside and Moura off the left side to go and join Harry Kane.
This time it's Alderweireld chipping it forward towards Lucas Moura, headed clear by Ikoko, and it will be kept in play on the touchline by Anise. Again, they can't keep the ball, Ludogorets. Here's Kane, forward to Lucas Moura. Kane's continued his run into the area. The return ball didn't quite find him, but Spurs will come once more with Doherty. Doherty tees up Winks, 25 yards out, back to Doherty again.
What we see with Harry Kane coming deep, he picks the ball up off of Lo Celso on a couple of occasions, but when the ball's played forward, he then runs from that deeper position, and he's running in behind the Ludogorets back line. That's how the first chance came about. So although he's coming deep, he's still penetrating that Ludogorets defence.
Here's Lucas Moura coming deep this time, and he's brushed off one challenge and another into the penalty area. He goes down. Well, the referee had a good view of it and keeps his arms by his side. It's a mazy jinking run from Lucas Moura.
It was a good run. He just overrun it and he just stumbled, and the referee Jovic, the Croatian, was on hand. He was very, very close, and immediately he waved it away. I don't think it is a penalty. I think it's a good decision by the referee.
Lucas Moura has stayed down. This will be a cause for concern for Jose Mourinho, and we will welcome at this time listeners over on Talk Sport. Tottenham leading by a goal to nil. Harry Kane with a header on 13 minutes from a corner. Kane having had two good opportunities even before that, lifting a shot over the crossbar from 7 yards inside 2 minutes, and then denied from distance by the inside of the post. We've also seen the goalkeeper Iliev for Ludogorets make an excellent save to keep out Doherty and deny him his first Tottenham goal, but Lucas Moura still flat on his back
He seems to have some sort of stomach problem, Alex. I don't know whether it was the way and the nature in which he stumbled and fell, or whether he was actually caught.
It was his corner, expertly guided into the back of the net by Harry Kane for the goal that separates these sides. Tottenham looking to get back on track after that reverse against Royal Antwerp in their last Europa League game. Joe Hart over in the far penalty areas, just jogging on the spot to try and keep himself warm. He hasn't had anything to do really, barring having to control an early back pass from Ben Davies.
Well, he is back on his feet, Lucas Moura, but he is holding his stomach.
Don't forget, coming up on TalkSport 2 tomorrow, live and exclusive from the Championship, the seven-side derby, Cardiff against Bristol City. Lucas Moura is just jogging over on the far side, trying to come back on. So no long-term concern for Jose Mourinho, and Spurs now back up to their full quota of players, and we are back off and underway with Ludogorets on a rare foray forward in this first half. 29 minutes played. It is Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 1. Lo Celso sprays it forward to Lucas Moura, taking on Terziev. Lucas Moura into the penalty area, just rolls it to the edge of the box where Harry Kane again has dropped into that number 10 role momentarily. His pass is a poor one, and it will be cleared away down the left-hand side by Verdon.
Alex, what I like about Spurs this evening is the way that they're looking to, their first look is to look forward, and the pass playing forward has been very, very positive, and that invariably has been started by Harry Winks feeding Lo Celso on to Kane, who's taking positions a little bit deeper and linking the play.
Harry Winks named in the England squad. Gareth Southgate announcing that for the upcoming round of internationals earlier today. Harry Kane inevitably in there as well. Son is just out warming up as Lucas Moura still moving a bit gingerly actually since coming back on. I'm not sure Ludogorets would welcome his arrival at this stage.
That's all they need, isn't it? The way that Spurs have started this game. Yeah, they might lose Moura, but Sonny coming on would be something.
And Jose Mourinho stands hands in pocket, watching on. Silver Fox as he's become, the Tottenham manager.
And I think he'll be happy. He'll know that it's in complete contrast to the performance that they put in against Antwerp in Belgium.
And that was a step up in terms of opponents. Ludogorets have been really poor tonight, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and Tottenham are doing that pretty efficiently at the moment. 1-0 they lead. I guess the only frustration for Jose Mourinho would be that his side aren't already further in front and putting this game to bed.
Absolutely, Alex, that it is only 1-0.
Harry Winks has won it back inside the centre circle. Kane was the target, but he knew he was offside, so just has to let it roll past him, and it's collected now on the edge of the Ludogorets penalty area by Stefan Badji. And here they come down their right hand side. Ikoko fizzing it towards the penalty area, one back by Sissoko, and again Ludogorets' progress forward is short lived. Here's Lo Celso sprinting into the home half of the field and trying to play in Doherty. It bounces off his heels, but kindly for Lo Celso, and then he will switch the play out to the left hand side for Davies to come forward. Kane and Lucas Moura waiting in the centre. Very patient build up here from Spurs. They still have it with Davies over on the far side. Now Lo Celso. Davies has continued his run on the overlap, but off balance. Lo Celso can't find his Tottenham teammate, and Ludogorets will clear once more. Again, they can't keep it for very long. Sissoko back now to Alderweireld.
But any Spurs player that's in possession of the ball, Alex, there's lots of movement. There's players who are prepared to run into space, shift people.
Kane towards the far post, and it's been tapped in by Lucas Moura. Tottenham do double their lead. Harry Kane, scorer of the first, provider of the second, and with 33 minutes gone, it is Ludogorets 0, Tottenham 2.
And that is an example of that pass and move. Bale sees the run of Harry Kane down the side of the 18-yard box, and when he puts him in, Harry Kane has a look square. He sees Lucas Moura arriving at the back post. Gareth Bale with time in the pocket, slides it in behind the fullback to Harry Kane, who fires it through the 6-yard box, and there
But Jose Mourinho's men on course for a comfortable evening now. Unselfish again from Harry Kane.
Well, it's incisive, Alex, it really is. The way that Spurs have played and moved. They've played not the best opposition, you have to say that, but they've done the job emphatically in this opening half an hour. Could well have been much further ahead than they actually are.
Ludogorets 0, Spurs 2. Home side coming forward and showing a bit of intent here as well. Shot from the edge of the area, deflects, and Joe Hart wasn't completely convinced it was going wide. It was Casero. It was an awkward one for the goalkeeper, who did fling himself down low to the left and watches it in the end bounce behind for a corner.
Well, I think the deflection, obviously wrong-footed Joe Hart. He then had to scamper away to his left-hand side just to make sure that that deflected shot was going wide.
Wasn't too far away from creeping in. In comes the corner, only half clear by Spurs, and then it's hoisted away by Matt Doherty, the Irishman. And it's going to be a throw-in now for Ludogorets, midway inside the Tottenham half, with 11 minutes of a very one-sided first 45 to play.
And I think going into that dressing room at half-time with the lead that they have, if they don't even extend it, that Jose Mourinho will be demanding that they keep a clean sheet now, that defensively they're solid, they don't get prized open. That would be the next step in what would be a really good performance from Spurs.
Plenty of British involvement in the Europa League this evening. Arsenal playing host to Molde, Leicester City up against Braga, meanwhile Celtic host Sparta Prague. All of those games at 8 o'clock kickoffs. We'll keep you updated across the TalkSport network. Tottenham by that stage should have the points safely tucked away in their swag bag. Goals in this first half from Harry Kane and from Lucas Moura have put the North London side in a very commanding position. Fascinating story, Ludogorets. They didn't play in the top flight in Bulgaria for their first 67 years of existence. Then they were taken over by a pharmaceutical millionaire by the name of Kirill Domasheyev. He is the man really who's bankrolled them to 9 successive Bulgarian league titles. They aren't the most popular club, Clive, but then I suppose success breeds contempt.
Yeah, no one likes winners, do they?
Tottenham leading this one by 2-0. Down the left-hand side for Ludogorets is Nedyalkov. His cross is swept clear by Davis. Just signs since that second goal that maybe Ludogorets are beginning to grow in confidence, but their ball retention in this opening 36 minutes has left a lot to be desired.
Well, you just think the nature of the game, they've got nothing to lose. They've got to try and get the ball forward, get into the final third. Their play in the final third has been pretty poor, not being able to retain possession of the ball, really threaten that Spurs rear guard.
The consummate away performance from the Premier League team so far. Here is Harry Winks. Hasn't wasted a single pass, and he's found Gareth Bale with space to run into inside the Ludogorets half. Davis with a cross which hit the fullback Ikoko, bounces away, and the Ludogorets looking for the counter-attack with Corley, the Brazilian, coming in from the left-hand side, rolls it infield for Dominic Yankov. And they've got plenty of men forward here, the Bulgarians. Tottenham with everybody bar Harry Kane now back behind the ball.
Yeah, they work very quickly, Spurs, to get back into defensive shape. Sissoko and Winks protecting the two centre-halves. Just denied Ludogorets making any progress.
And having committed bodies forward, they've now given the ball away, and Tottenham perhaps can start to think about a counter-attack. Harry Winks sprays it out to the right-hand side, and Doherty. He's got Lucas Moura over halfway. Those two looking to combine on this near side. Only Kane in the centre at the moment, so Lucas Moura goes back out to Doherty, and then Sissoko picks up the baton.
And again, they switch Bale and Moura from side to side. Bale now coming off the left side, Moura starting on the right.
On to the right-hand side from Winks. Doherty has stayed forward. Sissoko, again a good outlet. Kane waiting for the ball to be played into the penalty area, but he's marked by 2 green-shirted Ludogorets defenders, so again Tottenham content just to recycle possession. It's back with Doherty on the right again, and Gareth Bale's in acres of space at the far post, and he's going to reach him as well. Knocks it down, Kane's header into the gloves of Iliev. Another good opportunity.
Alex, it was too easy the way that Spurs worked the ball to the right-hand side. Doherty had so much time and space to deliver the cross, and he picks out Gareth Bale at the far post. He can't head at goal, but he pops it back into the 6-yard, on the edge of the 6-yard box for Harry Kane to head. A free header. He just didn't get the power to beat Iliev.
Here's Kane in the penalty area again. Right-footed strike this time. Good save by Iliev. Pushes it out, and it will be cleared now down this left-hand side by the skipper, Neddy Alkov. Harry Kane